The human doctor did not kneel when he entered the royal chamber. He did not salute the 12 banners. He did not tremble before the executioner's axe. He only looked at Princess Valera, saw the silver blood beneath her nose, saw the tremor in her hands, and said the sentence that made the alien court reach for weapons. "Your Highness, you need to sleep. The Empire forgot how to breathe." Valera of the Orinthian Star Court had not slept in 9 cycles. Not since dreadnoughts surrounded Elir Gate, not since captains, priests, generals, and began watching her heartbeat on palace screens like it was the last star in the universe. Orinthian law said a royal commander must remain conscious during siege. Awake meant strong, awake meant unbroken. Awake meant the fleet still had a soul. So when Dr. Elias Rowan, a captured human physician, told her to close her eyes, Lord Varkin lifted his blade and growled. Human, that sounded like an order. Elias did not look away from her. It was an order, medically speaking. The priests gasped, the generals cursed, but Valera raised one shaking hand, amused despite the fever behind her violet eyes. "You think rest can save what strategy cannot, Doctor?" Elias stepped nearer and answered, "Strategy keeps ships alive. Sleep keeps brains alive, and yours is failing." That was when the first throne alarm screamed. Every light around Valera flashed red, her back arched, and physicians rushed forward with crystal stimulants. Elias caught one wrist, tore the injector free, and shouted, "Put that in her and you kill her," the chief physician hissed. "Her consciousness must remain above threshold." "The fleet bond requires it." Elias froze, then understood. The princess was not merely a commander. She was the authentication key for the defense network, if her brain activity dropped too low. Every warship around Iller Gate would assume the royal line had fallen, and the whole empire would panic. Valera's voice came thin and rough. "Doctor, if I sleep, they may think I am dead." Elias knelt beside the throne, not in worship, but in work. "Then we teach the machine the difference between sleep and death." Lord Varkin barked. "The Crown Protocol is older than your species' star travel." Human Elias looked at the cables vanishing into the floor. "Then it is old enough to have forgotten it was built by people. And people always leave a way to survive." He demanded copper wire, warm saline, 2 battlefield monitors, and a music box. The court nearly rioted over the music box. Elias ignored them, opened the throne shell, and found the medical system buried beneath the gold. Half ritual, half hospital equipment, wearing jewelry. Valera watched. "Why help me, human? My fleet burned your ship." Elias worked the wires with careful fingers. "Because your fleet has cooks, engineers, wounded pilots, and if you die awake just to prove you are strong, they all die for a lie." The chamber went silent for the first time. The court saw her not as a symbol, but as a young woman barely holding the sky. Elias connected her heartbeat, breathing, and sleeping brain waves to the old crown channel, then opened the music box. A thin human melody turned slowly through the war room. "My mother used this for miners trapped underground," he said. "Rhythm tells the body the danger has edges." Valera whispered, "Humans sing to the dying." "Sometimes," Elias said, "but mostly we sing to the living until they remember they are allowed to stay." Then the orbital shields flickered. Enemy dreadnoughts advancing, the tactical balcony screamed. "Command confirmation required." Valera tried to rise, but Elias pressed 2 fingers to her shoulder. "No, sleep." The executioner raised his axe. "One more word, and I remove your head." Elias finally turned, and the court saw no fear in him, only fury sharpened by exhaustion. "For 9 cycles you asked a dying woman to carry your terror," he said. "Now carry your duties." No one had ever spoken to the Star Court like that. Lord Varkin stared at him, then slowly lowered his blade. "The fleet," he said. Elias pointed to the monitors. "Her heartbeat is strong, her breathing is regular. Her sleep will transmit a stable recovery. Not death, You wanted a symbol? There it is. A ruler who trusts her people enough to stop standing for 1 hour. Valera's lips trembled. I do not know how to sleep anymore. Elias softened. Then borrow an old human trick. Breathe in 4, hold 4, out 6, let the room become smaller than the war. The princess obeyed. At first the court panicked anyway, because her eyes closed and two Arinthians' closed eyes looked like surrender. Priests lifted relics, admirals shouted, alarms stuttered, but the fleet screens stayed blue, one by one. The warships confirmed royal signal stable. Then the dreadnoughts crossed into range, and without Valera screaming herself bloody, captains fired, pilots moved, engineers rerouted power, cooks sealed blast doors, children kept breathing. The Empire did not collapse because one woman slept. It steadied because everyone else finally woke up, and that was when they understood humanity. Humans were not frightening because they were stronger. They were frightening because they survived without worshipping suffering. They rested before the body broke. They treated leaders like living beings instead of holy furnaces. They knew courage was not burning forever. Sometimes courage was trusting someone else to hold the line. Elias stayed beside the throne until dawn, checking Valera's pulse, humming when the music box slowed by sunrise. The enemy had retreated from Iller Gate, not because the princess had refused weakness, but because the court had finally learned strength. When Valera woke, Lord Varkin stood guard behind the human. The executioner's axe was powered down, and the admirals waited with reports instead of demands. You ordered me to sleep, Doctor, she said. Elias gave a tired smile. Medical necessity, Your Highness. She looked at the blue fleet screens, then stood. My first decree is this. Every commander will sleep before judgment, every healer may overrule pride, and anyone who calls rest weakness will explain it to Dr. Rowan. Elias blinked. That may make me unpopular. Valera smiled. No, Doctor, it will make you famous. Because today you saved a princess by defending her humanity. And the court bowed, not to the crown, but to the human truth that held an empire together. Sometimes the bravest order in war is not attack, not hold, not die for glory. Sometimes the bravest order is sleep and live long enough to win.